Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. We are talking about put a ring on it. If you like what you see, put a ring on it. If you like what you see, put a ring on it. It's not a real ring, but I got a little bit prepared. I don't know if I'm going to ever find a real ring because I'm just not that serious. But everyone, welcome. This is Put a Ring on It. This is season 3, episode 4, and it's called Double Dates. Like aka double date, we're trying to cause some more mess. We want to stir this thing up to get y'all going. See how that goes. So before we begin, housekeeping rules, don't forget to like the video, like, appreciate the likes, keep them coming, and more importantly, tell me what you think. Let's talk about this. Is really going to be like a dialogue kind of thing, because we see some things I'm like, whoa, did I just see that? Did y'all see that? Because it's all over the place, but hey, we're here to learn something. And last of all, if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, y'all. Take your sister to 50k then 100k. Hey, put that into the atmosphere. So let's begin. So we always kind of start somewhere. So now we're back into the round table talking about Otis and Charlie. You know, Charlie had mentioned something about how sometimes how she feels when he's scolding. She used the word scolding, and so he's questioning it, and he says something really condescending like, yeah, like Charlie sometimes says things that don't really happen. Like this dude, Charlie, I don't know what you're looking for here. That's really the thing, that Charlie, like, the question here is the packaging might look good. I'm talking about Otis right now, but sis, like, if you do not share the views he shares about traditional family values, hopefully you all heard that, because I'm not repeating that. If you don't share the views he shares about traditional family values, then sis, like, I got nothing for you. Nothing for you. That's it, really. Even while Dr. Nicole was speaking, he's going like okay, like, really, he's I don't know why he's here, because he's not even ready to hear the expert Dr. Nicole. He's been patronizing, like, he's not ready for therapy. This is not news. Let's keep this moving. Should ask him, you want to go on another date with Milan? I feel like he said yes because he's trying to get under Charlie's skin, because Charlie was still talking about, you know, him being, you know, the scolding that she gets, because she gets scolded for not revealing what happened on the date, but now he doesn't want to open anything up. I don't know if any of these couples need to be together, but we're just going to keep this shit moving. So they get down to break down her date with Brent, who's meant to be the politician. You know, we know she was excited by that. She breaks it down that, oh, can you imagine, he was actually a physics major and he had, you know, former aspirations of being in NASA. Well, I mean, being an astronaut. And everybody's laughing like they, you know, chuckling, but she's just admiring the fact that he's ambitious. And this G, not to call him anything else, this G, and I'm talking about Otis right now, and his confession, he talking about she excited because she's meeting Buzz Lightyear. Like, that was so disrespectful, but it was funny. I'm gonna give him that. That was funny. It was disrespectful as heck, but it was funny. So I'm gonna give you that. You got that Buzz Lightyear, and you landed that plane well. That was funny. I don't know if that's the only thing. But she's, you know, what she's saying is that she finds him appealing because he's ambitious and he's a great listener. All the things that she's looking at him, all the things that are Otis is not. So she's trying to rub it under to, yeah, she's going to accept the second date. And so initially when, you know, when Otis said, yeah, he's going to have a second date with Milan, of course, Dr. Nicole will always ask the partner, okay, so what do you think? And she's like, you know, I hope he enjoys himself. And so then, of course, Otis returns it. When Dr. Nicole asked Otis, what do you think about going on a second date with Brent? He's like, I hope she enjoys herself too. Y'all keep matching each other's petty. And you're about nowhere to go but down into hell. You keep matching each other's petty, because that's what you're doing at this point, matching each other's petty, because you're both the same. We're not the same people, but you're doing the same thing in the relationship, which is negative for the relationship. But we're going to keep this moving on. And so she did, you know, Dr. Cole did bring something up that made sense. She was talking about how do they communicate fairly, or are they just doing tit for tat? Like, and I believe Dr. Nicole is bringing that up for the benefit of us, because those two they're clowning at each other. They know they do tit for tat. They both can get as petty as they need to be. Like, they're doing it for each other, and they've been doing it. And I guess maybe they want to continue doing it, or they wouldn't have done this for 3 years. This is not new behavior. This is, you know, consistent behavior with them. So the job right now is, you know, they are going to be going on another date with the two people. The mission this week is that they're actually going to be going on double dates. So they'll be doing, you know, each couple with their extra date going to be in the same room. they're trying to get some reactions, they're trying to get some heat, producers trying to stir things up. That's what I think they've done this before, have they? Yeah, this is not new, but they're just trying to stir things up. So of course, Dr. Nicole stresses that the whole point of this is meant to be a trust exercise. You're meant to be self-assured, confident in who you are, focus on your date, don't look over there. It's like, yeah, you know, they're spinning their heels. And like, you know, someone's thinking like, I wish you would try me if you want to, kind of scenario. I don't know, but anyway, she's giving them the assignment. Of course, driving home, Mr. Otis talk about, yeah, he feels like for the whole, you know, round table, he felt he had to defend himself, but no, it was coming for her, but she's a liar. AKA, this man has no accountability. Like, he couldn't see anything, or he chose not to see anything that was being said that could be something that he could work on. So why is he doing this exercise anyway if he's not ready to actually, you know, get the information, break it down, assimilate it, and see what's useful for him? If he's not ready to do that, why is he going through the exercise of dating strangers? Because he's not ready to take this. Like, he's just feeling like people are coming against him. He's not really getting the point of this exercise. I don't know where this is gonna go. So, getting ready, Otis and Charlie, they're going to be doing this double date. Apparently it's going to be a yoga stroke, I don't know, yoga, let's just call it a yoga class. So, you know, I don't know what time it was. Maybe it was midday, maybe it was 11. She's like, let's do a shot. Like, when he asked her, why do you need to have a shot? She needs to have a shot so she can be polite to his date. Okay, sis, you're doing too much. I don't get it. Like, I don't think it, I'm not saying that it's normal to date, see your partner date somebody else, but if you agree to this and it's not the first season of the show, at least you could try and save face. Like, even if you're gonna fake it, like you're gonna fake it till you make it, at least pretend. She's talking about how she needs a beverage to help her not attack or be combative with his date. I don't know how much I take that, because she doesn't seem the most combative physically. She might, you know, use her words, but she doesn't seem like she's going to be combative anyway. Milan arrives, who is, you know, Otis' date. She's really polite. They tell each other how beautiful they are. Of course, Miss Charlie decides to do a little nice nasty dig, talk about, yeah, he did tell me you're really young or young looking, but okay, then she cleans up, but you know, that's good, because okay, nice nasty energy. And then, you know, on the drive there, that's Milan and Otis. Milan figured, because Milan's feeling Otis, she is completely, you know, distracted by his outer appearance, so she's feeling him, and so she says, you know, starts asking him, so, you know, how would you feel if, you know, your girlfriend did this and she did that? And he's, you know, of course, Otis says that we've agreed on certain things, no hugging, touching, or kissing. So she's like, so if I kiss you, what will happen? She was testing boundaries. She wanted to see how far she could go. She was trying. I don't know if she's going to, if he picks her again, I don't know if she's going to take it up an ante and see what can I do next. I don't know if she's going to do that, but let's see. But she was just checking the boundaries, checking the temperature. You know how a kid would check and see how far they can go. She was just checking to see how far she could go. So it wasn't really about his girlfriend. She was trying to see how far she could go with him, because she's like, he's fair game at this point. That's how she's thinking. So they all get to, you know, the yoga class, and of course, then Brent and, you know, Charlie are there. And they start doing the yoga, and this petty bunch, like, he's doing something else, he's trying to match her, like, so she's like, you know, this is Charlie tells her date Brent, you can stretch me. Brent too decides to play along and stretching her. Like, if any man would tell you, like, he don't want to see his lady in the gym and a trainer is stretching or doing anything that's touching. So she took this up a notch. So then, you know, Otis say he gonna match her, so he's, you know, he tells his date Milan, turn around, oh, you've got these tattoos. They've been sitting there for 5 minutes. He didn't talk about tattoos until he sees Brett stretching, you know, Charlie. So ooh, just like, Lord help me. Like, are we really doing this? It didn't end there. You know, then they go on. Then I don't know. Charlie starts talking back and forth like, oh, they suck, they don't know what they're doing. Like, I'm just like, she was just doing too much. She kept either looking towards his way or talking about him, or sometimes talking at him. And I'm like, sis, why didn't you play it cool? What you could have done was just focused on Brent. Like, you would have gotten major points. Like, if it's a point you're trying to get, you would have got major points by just focusing on Brent. You didn't do it right. Like, do I need to coach y'all? Anyway, so they start going, even at this point, even Brent notices and does say in his confessional that he can see that Charlie was jealous. Yeah, Stevie Wonder could see that, but it's here nor there. You know, it's like they tell you you're going to date someone. They tell them to sign up, and they know they're dating people, but they still come date the people and start acting a fool. This is really like prepping for a game. Like you've been prepping for a year for this, for the, you know, what's it called, the playoffs. You've been playing, you've won all the matches, you've been practicing, you've done your training, playing for the, you know, ready for the playoffs, and then you finally get the ball and you fumble. That's what it's like. They've been practicing, they've been playing, they've played different games. You finally get to your moment, and you could have played this cool. One of y'all could have, but both of you are acting a fool. Because they even got to a point where, after the yoga, you know, Otis comes over to try and give her a kiss. She's looking like, please don't do that. Go wash your hands. That's another play on words of what he told her 2 episodes ago when he told her to go shower after her date with Namibia. I keep calling him Namibia. His name's not Namibia. I believe his name was Meta. So she tried to return the jab. These two are really petty and they probably suit each other. But I hope the real nature of the relationship is not as toxic as this, because they're doing too much. At this point, it's, you know, Charlie 1, Otis 0. So Charlie 1, Otis 0. Like that's what they're doing. To the next couple, Kenneth and Shorty. So they talk about Shorty's date with Hollywood. Good time. He listens. He's very attractive. She really likes him. They have a really good connection. That so much of a connection that it got to a point where she felt she had to pull back because she didn't want to get herself all involved or get in her emotions. Okay, fair enough. Dr. Nicole asks her, you know, do you want to see him again? And she says no, and likely because she likes him too much, and so she doesn't want to start another relationship when she still wants to invest in this current relationship. Dr. Nicole says fine. Of course, we discussed Ken and Mia's date. You know, I think they had mentioned how Mia liked him or something, and they did make mention of how Mia had said, "May the best woman win." And they're like, you know, he said he wasn't surprised by Mia's reaction because every woman falls in love with him. I'm like, oh, just really, like, Kenneth, if you could show some of this confidence in your relationship, you might get some footing. Because clearly you're not confident, like, but I'm not here. So he says no to Mia because he loves Shorty. Okay, y'all want to remain in this toxic scenario. Cool. Kenneth says that he doesn't even see why she wants to get close to anyone because they have something solid. When I heard that solid, it started vibrating in my head. Solid, really, sir? Like, you doing your Tinder swindler antics and she about to sit in your head and make you into a little boy, but you have something solid? Even my good sis had to tell him that. Solid. Like, yo, if y'all was solid, you wouldn't be on this show. If y'all was solid, you won't have done all the things that you've been doing. That this is not solid, this is something else, but it's definitely not solid. At this point, one may think that does Shorty really want to stay in this relationship, or does she want to use this exercise or this experience to get out clean? Because she said she's tried to leave before and he wouldn't let her. He kept lingering on, so she's hoping that he might find that he likes somebody else, because he definitely seems more invested in a relationship than she does. She definitely seems to be invested, but he seems more so than her. And I wonder if her agreeing to do this experience was to see if she could have him, exercise the opportunity for alternatives and maybe go that way, trying to prep him for the reality that things going to change. I don't know, but I'm just guessing here. So I'm talking about Shea and Alfie. So, and they're round table, so they're discussing their experience of because they didn't go on dates last week. They just had a session with Dr. Nicole, and so she's recapping. So Shay's recapping that she feels that Alfie doesn't understand what platonic is. That on a date one time, a woman had stepped to him. Maybe somebody knew, somebody didn't know. Asked him for money. A woman had stepped to him, asked him for money. He gave her the money and the woman left, and no introduction transpired. No introduction at all. Like, he just, in his mind, he didn't think it was necessary. And of course, he's laughing, they're laughing, and then, of course, we noticed that, or rather, Dr. Nicole's observation is he laughing because he doesn't care that he's causing pain? Is he not bothered that, you know, that there's a lack of trust? And then this is the point where Shea is talking about, you know, if this continues, then she has no choice but to leave. But then Dr. Nicole reminds her, but that is a choice, a valid choice that you can exercise. So, as you know, as they've been given the assignment, of course, Alfie and Shea, they're aware that, you know, the next date they're having with new people is going to involve them having a date in the same place. He says, off the cuff, Alfie said that, you know, Shea's gonna have problems with his son, like he's been here before. Probably not officially, but unofficially, since she says she knows he has a history of infidelity. So he already has experienced this and he knows it's not going to end well. I'm just wondering, as they're driving home and recapping the round table, like, why is Shea the one driving? It's really just a innocent question. I'm just wondering, and maybe if you all can wonder with me and maybe give me an answer. Why do you think, like, in all the couples you see, like, I'm just wondering, not a big deal, but I'm just wondering why she's the one driving home. I'm just wondering. Double dates. They're prepping for the date. So she's in a black number, you know, with some cleavage. He plays along and says too much. She's like, yeah. So her date comes over. And there's a point where she says something about her spouse going on a date. And I thought to myself, I don't know if there's something that we don't know about, because she said spouse. And to my knowledge, even the engagement has been broken up. So how is your spouse? I don't even know if you can consider yourselves common law with the 3 years. I think there has to be maybe 8 to 10 years for common law, or there's something else they're not telling us. This because it slipped in, like she called him a spouse, and then all of a sudden when they talked about the, you know, him going on a date with someone, she starts crying. Like with her makeup on, she starts crying. And in the confessional, Alfie says something about, this girl is so in love with me that she can't bear to see me go out with anybody else. And this is why I say this, when you people just be giving your power to somebody, like you just making a mockery of yourself. You're crying. Do you see him crying? Is he crying because you're going on a date with somebody? No, but you're crying. So why did you agree to this experience again? If you knew you're going to be there crying. The first time you were jacking his dates up, this time now you're crying. I don't know, like something when something doesn't connect, it's not making sense here, something's going on. Like crying. I still can't get over that she was just crying over the thought, like stuff hasn't dropped yet. People, don't do this. Don't do this. Don't do this. Like, you sign up for something, you agree to do something, then you're crying like somebody forced you. She did this willingly, she do it for him. I don't understand why she signed up for this experience if it's costing her this much aggravation and pain and she can't take it. I don't know, I don't understand. Anyway, Shea's date comes. His name is Asar. He's from New York, you know, from one of those 5 boroughs. He comes in, you know, they get to some hibachi place, like I don't know what the place was called, I don't remember anyway. And so, you know, they're having like a soft little combo. She's flirting with him. She wants him to reassure her, tell her how pretty she is, how much of a type of his type she is. Like she wants him to repeat it because she needs to hear it. I don't know, maybe that's not what she's hearing from her man. That might be the case. Maybe she's not hearing it from him. I don't know. Maybe that's why she needs to hear it. So, you know what? Everything seems light and fun. It seems like a nice first date until Alfie walks in with his date. Oh my goodness. Alfie walking with his date. I think his date's name is Tashiri. Let's call it Tash. Alfie walks in with Tash, and immediately she gets triggered. Says he ignored her like she was Casper the ghost. Sis, the assignment of this date thing was that you guys would have your individual dates. It wasn't meant to be a meetup. You weren't meant to be sitting opposite each other doing a double date. Messy producers put them like tables right next to each other. Like, come on now. You know this woman's already fragile. Why are we doing this? But I guess you have to have great TV. So at this point, she's already triggered. Asar has to beg her, like, you know, focus on me. Let's keep talking. That's it. She starts talking over the table to Alfie. For a second I lost it. Like she's talking to Alfie. You know, she was just getting fresh into a point where the Alfie's date Tash was like, are you talking to me? And it was just Alfie's date didn't help. She's like, "You talking to me because I'm grown? You know, if you don't want to do this, why sign up? No lies. Oh my goodness, you must be so insecure if you're making this much of a fuss." And she turned to Alfie, that this your wife. And then that's why I'm like, wife? Is there something that I don't know about, but something about your wife is insecure? Is she talking to me? Like, I just think at this point, I feel like Shea is, and beauty and packaging does not and shouldn't reflect security. But this poor lady is so insecure, like she's acting a fool over this man for no reason. And you put them together, you put him and put her there. She's definitely better looking, better carriage, but it's like, why is she behaving like this? Why is she reverting to like this blubbering mess, like aggressive? And it almost looks like Alfie's enjoying this nonsense too, because as she's talking, he's not discouraging it. He's letting her go on. He's not stopping her. You know what? Alfie ain't beat for allowing this to happen. Like he's just really I feel like Asa, you know, Shea's date was doing more to try and calm down the situation, to prevent something from happening. Alfie was just laughing. Yet again, is that his response? Is that for him when he's nervous? Does he revert to like laughing or giggling when he's nervous? Or is there something else going on? Because I don't understand like why he's laughing and the woman's she's getting riled up, getting more triggered going on. I think she's getting more triggered both by Alfie's response of laughter, like he's enjoying himself, and also by the fact that, you know, she think that she can tell the lady to shut up, because it all started with when she said, you know, she told Alfie, put your date on mute. Lady, that was disrespectful. Shea, you were disrespectful, so you came asking for this, like you wanted this to happen, almost like Alfie saw it was going to happen and just made him feel good and feel wanted. Some toxic relationships have these toxic patterns where the other party, or maybe both parties, don't feel there's love between them unless they're fighting. And maybe that's the kind of relationships that were mirrored to them as children. I don't know, but it's too much. Then, you know, Alfie turns to her. I think he almost said, let's go talk outside. Doesn't even look behind him. That tells me, I feel like it tells me a lot. This is your girlfriend, fiance or ex-fiance or whatever of 3 years. You can see she's visibly upset. You invite her to go walk with you outside, but you didn't even look behind you to see if she's following you. You're walking outside. Then it's until he hears an uproar, because instead of Shea to walk outside with him, she's walking towards Alfie's date. Alfie's date, she from the street. She's like, what you don't want to do, what you're not going to do is this. This chick stand up with a plate ready. She's ready with a weapon. Here we go. Why you sign up for this? If you're going to embarrass and disgrace yourself like this, why sign up for this? And even more so, not why did you sign up for this experience? Why are you persisting in this relationship? It's not working for you. You are probably acting outside of yourself. It makes no sense to me. Yeah, I just don't understand what Shea's getting from this experience or relationship. I'm really curious to see how they break it down and what explanation Shea has for her behavior, because it was uncalled for, it was unbecoming, and it doesn't secure her. I don't know, it doesn't secure her place. Like, this insecurity, and I guess that's what happens when you're in a relationship where the infidelity is involved. The woman herself is so insecure that maybe she's acting out of character. This makes no sense to me. But anyway, guys, we reached the end of the episode. Let's go see what happens next week. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Lola, over and out.